What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Post-Gazette Sports Now YouTube channel and podcast network. I am Noah Hiles. Solo show today as my beat partner Andrew Destin enjoys a much-deserved weekend off after he took care of our coverage in Texas at the All-Star game. I was here for all three games for the Bucks' first series back from the break against the Phillies, where they took 2 of 3. I'm recording here Sunday afternoon after they dropped the third of those 3 games to the Phillies. Final score 5-0. We got a lot to talk about recapping that series, but before we do, we've got to talk about our show's presenting sponsor, which is the North Shore Tavern. If you love baseball, you'll love the North Shore Tavern. The interior is wall-to-wall Pirates. There are appetizers, entrees, cocktails, and of course, steak and seafood on a sizzling lava stone. Open every day. The North Shore Tavern is across from PNC Park and is Pittsburgh's home for steak on a stone. I'm heading there right after I finish this recording. So it's a great place. I encourage you all to check it out. So 3 big takeaways from the Pirates series over against the Phillies coming out of the All-Star break. Like I said, Bucks take the first 2. They drop the third game, don't get the sweep, which ends a 6-game win streak, their longest win streak of the season. Still go above 500. I still think that was a very good series altogether, albeit a melancholy ending to it. And here are my big takeaways. The first player I think I need to highlight here is Luis Ortiz. That was the best performance we got in these 3 games was Ortiz on Saturday, coming in throwing 7 shutout innings against a loaded Phillies lineup. And that included guys who have been dominant all year, players like Schwarber, Harper, Trey Turner, Alec Boehm, and even a guy like JT Realmuto, who made his return from the IL. He had no problem against these guys, and he's had no problem as a starter all season long. In 4 starts this season, his ERA is 0.73. He's struck out 19 batters in those 4 starts. He's only allowed 18 base runners, 15 hits and 3 walks. His stuff isn't as sexy, I guess you could say, as Paul Skeens's or Jared Jones. He doesn't have the arsenal or the proven track record of a Mitch Keller. But Luis Ortiz, to me, has earned himself a spot in this starting rotation moving forward. I understand that Bailey Falter and Jared Jones will be back, within a month from now. I think Falter could be back by the end of July. And you've got other guys, veterans like Marco Gonzalez and Martin Perez, who you paid to be a part of this thing. But I don't understand how you can remove Luis Ortiz from this, because this is a guy who, helps you in the present. In 2024, he gives you a very good shot to win pretty much every ball game he pitches in. At least that's how he looks right now. But this is also an investment in the future. This guy's only 25 years old. It wasn't too long ago where he was one of the many exciting prospects that were coming up throughout this rebuild. And I think if you can get him going, keep him going, the fact that he was in a bullpen role in the start of the season means his arm's going to be a little fresher than most of the other starters by the time we get to late August, September, and potentially October. So Luis Ortiz, my first big takeaway, just really impressed with him, his best outing as a pro for my money Saturday. Takeaway number 2 is Oneil Cruz. And it's kind of ironic that I'm going to be praising Cruz because he went 0 for 4 Sunday with a pair of errors. But overall, I think we're seeing Oneil Cruz potentially take that next step, something Pirate fans have desperately wanted to see from the shortstop for a while now. And a multitude of factors have gone into him not being able to potentially make that next step. Some of it's been injury related. Some of it's just been development. But for one reason or another, it's taken him some time, but he's really getting going right now. I really like what I'm seeing from him at the plate in July, hitting .348 with 3 homers and 14 runs batted in, 5 doubles on top of that. And his 2 errors today on Sunday were his first since June 25th. So the guy's been playing consistent defense. Another thing that I think kind of gets overshadowed with Cruz is his base running. I think he's been able to, I don't want to say steal runs because someone still had to hit him in, but put himself in really good scoring position based off of reads he made on the base path, be it on a ground ball or being able to tag up from first to second, things like that on a fly ball. Those have been difference makers. And that's why I think it's easy to be encouraged by Oneil Cruz from what we've seen here over the past month, despite a tough day today. Overall, I feel like he's a guy where this team kind of needs someone to be a superstar in the lineup. I mean, Brian Reynolds is hitting like one, but when we're talking raw talent, this guy, there's no one else who fits that label more than Oneil. And if he can come on and have a great second half, this club's going to be in really good shape. That's my number 2 takeaway. Number 3, final takeaway of when we're looking over the performances from this series, I want to talk about Martin Perez, a guy who has kind of been the outlier as far as starting pitchers are concerned. This is a guy who makes the most money in the starting rotation, but has been the least consistent since the month of April came to an end. This guy's posted a 7.87 ERA. He didn't make it through the 4th inning on Friday. Thankfully, the Pirate Bats picked him up, ended up coming back to win 8-7. But I mean, Perez, when you're looking around in this Pirate pitching staff, it's very hard to argue a case for Perez to remain in this starting rotation. And it's going to be even harder once Bailey Falter returns, and nearly impossible, really, once Jared Jones gets back. And the question the Pirates need to face is, what do you do with this guy? Is he someone you consider trading, or do you value having that veteran left-hander somewhere on your pitching staff? How will Martin Perez handle a demotion if you do move him to the bullpen? That was something the Texas Rangers did to him last year, and I don't think he was particularly happy about that. So what do you do with that? Do you try to trade him, or do you hang on to that depth? And do we know if he'll even perform well in the bullpen if you move him back there? It's a tough challenge to be had. And I think something that's very interesting with this next homestand is, Perez has been announced as Wednesday's starter, not next homestand, the continuation of this homestand, I should say, against the Cardinals. 3-game series, huge series, probably the biggest 3-game set the Pirates have played in the Cherington Shelton era. And you've got Keller on Monday, Skeens on Tuesday, and Martin Perez pitching on 4 days rest Wednesday. So I didn't think that he would get the ball that game. I thought they'd probably go with a bullpen game instead and rely on Quinn Priester, but it seems like they have faith in Perez, and this is a big start because I think if he doesn't perform well Wednesday, I'm not sure he will be in the rotation the next time around, considering Falter's projection to return. So interesting stuff from him. We're going to wrap it up here by just talking about the series that I just highlighted a little bit. The St. Louis Cardinals coming to town Monday. They play 3 games here on the North Shore. Pirates and Cardinals neck and neck. They entered Sunday, I believe, a half game apart, maybe a game apart in the standings for both the National League Central Division and the wild card. So really crucial series here on the North Shore. While a lot of fans were here for the weekend, I would expect a lot of fans to show up again over these next 3 days because these are important. And I would say equally important is what follows the remainder of this homestand, and that's 3 games in Arizona against the defending National League champions. These are 2 teams ahead of the Pirates right now in a very compact, crowded wild card race in the National League. And every game means something as far as what you want to do at the deadline, where you want to be as far as the final standings go. And the Pirates need to be on their A game. I feel like they've been playing really good baseball recently. They're 6 games over 500 since Skeens debuted on May 11th. The fielding's been better. The base running's been better. The offense has been better, and the pitching has remained strong. But they've got to be able to win these games. If you want to be a playoff team, you've got to beat other teams fighting for those playoff spots. So big series ahead, big week of baseball ahead, and also means the trade deadline is coming to a close here. I'm recording this on Sunday evening, July 21st, so only 9 days remain until the trade deadline comes to a close. So potential moves on the horizon, a big shakeup potentially in the National League wildcard standings here as the Bucks play their next 6 games against the Cardinals and the Arizona Diamondbacks. That's all I've got here from PNC Park. My name is Noah Hiles, cover the Pirates for the Post-Gazette. You can check out all of my work at post-gazette.com, and you can keep tuning in to the Post-Gazette Sports Now YouTube channel and podcast network for all of your Pittsburgh sports coverage. Take care.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.